Hello and welcome back to some more F1 2021 and part 5 of my Immersive Driver Career with Alpine F1 team. Today we've got my favourite Grand Prix of the year in Canada. I really do enjoy this circuit and our pace has been pretty decent so far this weekend, and I'm also going to be trying out a 50% race to see how much difference it makes, how much more enjoyable it makes it around a track that I love and feel like I'll succeed at in a longer race. So I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully you guys are too. Make sure you hit the thumbs up button down below. A breaking point will be finishing off in the next couple of days, which means there will be slots opening up for all of the other games on the channel, so you will get to experience, if you are new, all of the variety that we have to offer around here, and I'm really looking forward to it. So without further ado, let's get into qualifying around Circuit de Gilles Villeneuve. Well, here we come up to the line. It's not a great time, a 1:10.4, which is quicker than Giovinazzi and Russell, but slower than Carlos Sainz. I feel like we can improve on that a heck of a lot. Well, here we come up to the line. Not a much better lap, but we did improve slightly. We are probably going to have to come out again, though. I'm finding the curbs incredibly difficult on this track, on this game, because it's much like F1 2010. As soon as you seem to hit a curb, you go flying. But of course, through the last sector, particularly that final chicane, getting the best use of the curbs is kind of what your lap time's about. But 7th place at the moment. I'm sure we will have to improve. Here we come then. What a lap this is. 7/10 quicker and up to 12th we go. So that should be more than enough to get through to Q2. There's only 5 seconds left. And we're actually faster than Fernando at the moment. And Giovinazzi has just popped up into 14th place. Then Alonso up into 13th, so he's just behind us, but nobody seems to be overtaking us at the end here. But, well, we can be very, very pleased with that. And, you know, we're not too far off the pace of the Ferraris, so I'm just trying to look after these tyres so I can use them at the start of Q2, because we haven't used them too much. But there was just a moment of really going for it there and using this first curb of the chicane a lot more than the second curb. That does seem to help you out. Oh! Well, that could have been a
Mind that front wing.
disaster.
It'll need replacing if it takes too much damage. Your rear wing is damaged. You can expect a lot of oversteer unless we bring you in and fix it.
So coming into the pits should be fine now, but yeah, that was a bit embarrassing. Let's see how we get on at the end of Q1. There we are. We are through in 12th place. Daniel Ricciardo and Lando Norris are the quickest drivers at the moment. Sainz up in 3rd there now. And we are only a couple of tenths off getting through to Q3, but well faster than the bottom 5 of Antonio Giovinazzi, Mick Schumacher, George Russell, Nicholas Latifi and Nikita Mazepin. Well, we come up to the line and it's a 1:10.5, which is only a tenth slower than what we did in Q1 in the end, and that's on the medium tyres. And the reason I've went on medium tyres was because actually these were only a tenth slower than the used soft compound tyres that I went for. And I thought, well, if we can actually get through on the medium tyres, it would be a huge strategical advantage for the race. But you know, we're making time already on this second lap here. I think it's definitely worth finishing this lap and seeing how we get on. Well, here we go, 4/10 quicker this time, and into the 1:10.1s, which is still 11th place, but it gives us some hope, ready for the soft tyre run later in the session. Well, here we come up to the line on our used soft tyres, and it's a 1:09.8, which is enough for 11th place at the moment. We'll come in, bolt on the new set of softs, and see how we can do. Here we come then, losing time on the run up to the line. Only a 10th improvement, and I think it's going to be 12th. Which is a pity, because, you know, I think we had reasonable pace there. But it is only going to be 12th, and just behind Fernando Alonso as well, a 10th behind our teammate. But both of us are out in Q2, unfortunately. Everybody having to go through on the soft tyres in the end, and, you know, being within a second of Valterri Bottas leading the way. But it was that final chicane that cost us. We just couldn't quite get enough pace through there to improve our time by enough. But 2/10 would have done it. It's a shame that we're not going to be in Q3 for our first ever appearance there. Gasly and Tsunoda are behind us, which is good, in our race with AlphaTauri, and Kimi Räikkönen down in 15th. Let's hand over to Anthony Davidson and David Croft for this year's Canadian Grand Prix.
Hello and welcome to the Ile Notre Dame once again for what promises to be another incredible Canadian Grand Prix at a fiercely competitive circuit, where pole position can often be decided by less than a tenth of a second. We'll be seeing top speeds of around 210 miles an hour here at the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve, with around 2/3 of the lap taken at full throttle. High-speed chicanes spell potential danger, especially at the infamous Wall of Champions. And watch out for overtaking into the hairpin and the final chicane. Anthony Davidson joins me once again in the commentary box. And it's fantastic to have you with us here today. But I'm curious, as a man with experience out on the track, how do you stop those pre-race nerves from becoming overwhelming when you're lining up on the grid?
Well, from the moment qualifying's over, you start to feel the adrenaline in your body build up and the buzz in your stomach as you anticipate the run down into turn one. It's all a bit like going into battle, and the unknown situation makes you nervous. Those pre-race nerves are a good thing. The day you don't have them means that you don't care anymore. And of course, you have to make sure that all the procedures are second nature to you, so that they're not taking up too much of your capacity.
Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Good job yesterday from Valtteri Bottas. The Finn starts from pole position, and Lewis Hamilton completes the front row. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Norris, Ricciardo, Max Verstappen and Leclerc, Perez, Sainz, Vettel and Fernando Alonso. The captain, Tsunoda, Kimi Räikkönen and Giovinazzi. Mick Schumacher, Russell, Nicholas Latifi and Nikita Mazepin. Stroll, they've taken a grid penalty, and Pierre Gasly picks up the final grid slot today. And with preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track.
Okay then, here we are down on the track, ready for
Okay,
race
here we
day.
go. I know what you can do. Don't let me down.
Now, 35 laps of this Grand Prix. Now, there are a couple of different options here. Two-stop strategy, starting on the red wall soft tyres. They seem to think that that is the quickest strategy, so I'm going to edit this one. Starting on the medium tyres, stint 2, can we go hard straight away if we remove that stint and go hard tyre? Yeah, this is looking slightly better. Maybe if we take that up to 15 laps and then the hard tyre for the rest of the race, that's going to be 3 seconds quicker than the two-stopper. So yeah, I'm thinking maybe start on the mediums, and that obviously gives us the option. We can switch to a two-stopper if we feel like we need to later on in the race. I think that's what we're going to go for then. We just need to actually select it, so let's select that strategy and hope for the best on that one. That is, well, again, that still says that it's a second slower than actually this one up here. No, I think go for the medium tyres and hopefully see what happens. So here we go. Well, if we can keep that sort of rev
Okay, our system checks
going
are good. We need to stay in formation and
the actual start. I think we'll get an absolute flyer off the grid.
Tyres and work the brakes. We want them nice and warm by the end of the lap.
So getting these tyres nice and warm, that's a priority. By the way, we've got a brand new engine in place this weekend. Give us a little bit more power on the straights. So hopefully that'll be very useful. But starting in P11, of course, it seems like somebody took a grid penalty. I didn't actually catch who it was, but I think it was maybe Stroll,
look stable at the moment.
which at its home Grand Prix isn't ideal, but there you go. We're also going to stick that on to no, because it's quite likely that we'll get a little bit of front wing damage at some point in the Grand Prix. And we don't want that to cost us those valuable seconds in the pit stop. But you know, we're the only guy out there that's on the medium tyres from what I can tell so far. We'll have a quick look on the race director. Oh, there's a couple lower down, Mazepin and Schumacher for Haas that are on that, but that doesn't fill me with a great amount of confidence. But we will see. We will see in our first 50% race of F1 2021. Well, we are going to be right in the mix, I think, for some points today. So here we come round the final corner, and people ghosting through us, not entirely sure why. But I'm absolutely fine. It'll mean that our tyres are slightly warmer than those in front of us, because we've had a bit of a slower run to the grid, but here we are, right in our grid box, ready and raring to go.
Keep an eye on the lights. The start sequence will be...
Oh, here we go then. Lights out, away we go here in Canada. It's an excellent getaway off the grid, a little bit of wheel spin, but we should have a decent run on Fernando into the first corner. But Raikkonen absolutely flies it down the inside. That was a torpedo-like move, and apparently we get warned for our collision with Fernando. I think that was a little bit harsh, considering that literally Kimi Raikkonen just flung it and hoped for the best down the inside. But we settled down into 12th position here on this first lap, which I think is probably the best we could hope for at this moment. And now it's about settling into a nice rhythm, getting our pace absolutely spot on, and hopefully staying with these top 10 runners, because they are going to be on the better tyre strategy in theory. So we need to stay with them to make sure that 1 second doesn't make all the difference. We go down the inside of Kimi Raikkonen there. That was a good move. I'm a little bit annoyed.
Side pods have taken damage.
Well,
Keep an eye on your
virtual
engine
safety car.
temperature. Cooling may be adversely affected. The virtual safety car has
So
been
no doubt
deployed.
out.
Slow down and maintain a positive delta. There's been an incident resulting in a high level of debris on the track. We've been informed that due to the increasing risks, they're moving from a virtual to a full safety car.
I'm really, really annoyed about that, because it was Kimi Raikkonen again, you know, just half asleep at the end of the day, and he spun us round. We have apparently got side pod
Right,
damage.
pick up the pace a touch, please. We need to close to within 10 car lengths of the car ahead.
And there's nothing we can do about that in this Grand Prix now. We just got to suck it up and hope that doesn't affect us too much. But Yeah, drama already on this opening lap. But what I was trying to say before I was rudely interrupted by Kimi Räikkönen was I was annoyed that we got a track limits warning. I feel like we followed the same line as everybody else, and I mean, by the looks of it, it's a McLaren that's leading the way, which is very, very interesting. So I assume that's Norris that has jumped both Bottas and Hamilton
to the field a bit. We're dropping
off the
too
line.
far back. Remember that we need to stay within 10 car lengths of the next car.
Yeah, I'm trying to get a decent look at these side pods that are destroyed. I can't really tell, so I think we're okay. A couple of new little camera angles this year, by the way, if you haven't seen them already.
You've taken damage to the side pods. Expect to feel a little drag. Okay, let's get ready to go racing again. The safety car is in this lap. When the field accelerates, remember, there is no overtaking until the green flags. Safety car in this lap.
So the safety car is in this lap then. So we gotta get back underway.
Some information on Vettel. They have some kind of mechanical problem.
Sebastian Vettel ahead. He has some sort of problem. That's gotta be a chance for us. There goes the safety car then. So here we go as we round the final corner. And we actually get a warning for that as well. I mean, we're going to be picking up the time penalties today, if that's anything to go by. That was barely anything. But here we go, green flag then, no heroics at the start of this second restart. And I'm just hoping that we can do a good job today and stay with these guys ahead, but I'm feeling less confident in the car now. We've got that little bit of damage. Definitely feeling a little less stable around the corners, but hopefully it's all just in my head. But there you go, Vettel is definitely slow. Fernando Alonso having a little look at him. He's having a look around the outside, in fact. And that's got to be very, very close to track limits for Fernando Alonso. We've got George Russell having a little look. And we go down the inside of Sebastian Vettel, but this is where Kimi Räikkönen made contact with us on the opening lap, but we are through on Sebastian, and now hopefully in the points, and we can run away a little bit with Vettel holding up the guys behind because of his mechanical problem. Well, you join me as we enter lap 8 of this Grand Prix. We're still in 10th position. Sebastian Vettel behind has just come into the pits. So I think folks are going to start coming into the pit lane very, very soon if you're on a two-stop strategy, which most of the field are because they started on soft tyres. So we're just taking it nice and easy, trying to look after these medium tyres as much as possible, extend our stint as much as possible. And, well, there's not a lot of on-track action at the moment, but at the very least, we're being consistent.
Some information on Leclerc. They have an issue with their car. They're going to be slow.
Well, that's what we like to hear. Charles Leclerc has got a little bit of a problem now. So hopefully, much like Vettel, that will affect him. And we will be able to make a bit of a move on them. Plenty of people coming into the pits now, so we are making it through, which is nice. Making it through the field. We're obviously not going to win this Grand Prix today, but a safety car right now, you know, in a couple of laps or so, could really, really help us. Well, here you go, the rest of the field in the pit lane now, including leader Lando Norris, and we therefore take over the lead of the Canadian Grand Prix. It'll be interesting to see how we get on here. Well, here comes Lando Norris, about to retake the lead of the Grand Prix, and I tell you what, he is absolutely flying. He is miles ahead of Hamilton in second. Or Bottas, sorry, in second, and he's just set another fastest lap, so very interesting to see here. Could be witnessing Lando Norris's coming of age. Well, there goes Valterri Bottas as well. Just letting him through, not
Okay, we lost the position. Try to keep
going to
focus.
battle that too hard. And there goes Lewis Hamilton on the very next lap. So we're getting some action here. Not necessarily the action we wanted, but action nonetheless. Well, we're coming into the pits this lap, so Daniel Ricciardo goes flying past. And we're in to the pit lane, so here we are, and hopefully we'll have a nice clean stop and get back out there. This is our only stop, remember.
Go, go, go.
We're away in 3 seconds, not the fastest stop you'll ever see. You can see how far down we are dropping.
Look after these tyres now. We want to finish the race on this compound.
So maybe this wasn't the best idea, but remember, as long as we stay within 20 seconds of those guys ahead, they're all going to have to pit again. So that is our saving grace, if you like. And if there are any safety cars late on, maybe we could come in and get ourselves some soft tyres on. Well, Mick Schumacher goes down the inside. He's on a 2-stop strategy, but medium, medium, soft presumably. So he's on a better tyre at the moment, and I'm thinking this side pod damage is doing us a lot more harm than maybe I was giving myself credit for. We are super slow compared to the other guys, and it's just the confidence in the car that I've lost, unfortunately, because the car's felt really good all weekend, really stable through the corners, but now we're sliding all over the place, and these are on brand new hard tyres, so that shouldn't be the case really, but we've got to keep pushing and keep hoping for a safety car to get ourselves right back into this. Well, there goes Carlos Sainz round the outside of us. He's obviously going to be a lot quicker than us, but they have, well, he has been into the pits twice now, so we will definitely finish behind him in this Grand Prix. And it's interesting, Fernando Alonso into the pits now, and of course he was right next to us on the track, earlier in this Grand Prix. So now we will really see whether this strategy has been worth it. There is Fernando Alonso just in front of us. So it appears that we haven't lost too much time in the grand scheme of things, and we are still in 10th place. The problem is the guys behind us are going to have fresh rubber, and we're going to have to see. Oh, nearly went wide there. I'm going to have to see if we can get back past Mick Schumacher. Well, Mick Schumacher side by side with Fernando Alonso. We're now in striking distance, really. We have still got Kimi Räikkönen glued to the rear of our car. Well, there goes Kimi Räikkönen through, and Vettel and Stroll.
Okay, focus. We need to stay on form.
Are going to be next, you feel. And now it's all going to be whether we can catch Mick Schumacher.
Safety car right now. Pitting this lap then. Come into the pits at the end of this lap.
Well, we're going to switch strategy now because we have got absolutely no chance. Lewis Hamilton is out of the session, and I'm hoping that that will bring about a safety car, because we're coming in, we're getting ourselves some brand new soft tyres.
You'll be racing on the exit.
And hoping that we can get right back into this now. But Lewis Hamilton out. I don't think the safety car is going to come out, which is a big shame. You can see Lewis Hamilton there. But yeah, those hard tyres were not going to work. We were getting overtaken by everybody. Vettel seems to have come in as well. I'm not entirely sure why, but yeah, the gamble on the strategy is not paid off, it's fair to say. I mean, we have had side pod damage as well to contend with, but yeah, it just wasn't the right strategy, I suppose. You win some, you lose some.
This is your final lap of the race.
Well, final lap of the race. Lando Norris has just won the race. First Grand Prix victory for him. We're battling with another Brit, George Russell, but we've lost a little bit of time through that series of corners, unfortunately. Sebastian Vettel closing in as well, putting us under pressure. I don't think we're going to manage it. 14th is a real disappointment, considering how much effort we put into this Grand Prix weekend, and to not come away with anything is very, very disappointing. But that's the way it goes, I think. And Sebastian Vettel may well rub salt in the wound just yet. We've been very close to George Russell the last couple of laps, but we haven't managed to make the overtake just yet. And for one final time we come through the chicane, and we now come up to the line, and we're going to finish 14th, which is very disappointing.
Okay, pick
no
up rubber
points,
and bring it home.
But what could have been had we not had the side pod damage.
Brilliant stuff from McLaren today. What a superb victory. Anthony Davidson, a resounding victory today. What set them apart from the rest?
Well, I honestly feel it was down to the driver and car today. I mean, we can talk driver skill all day, but if you don't have a solid team to back that, you're never going to get anywhere. When you hit that sweet spot of having both an excellent driver and an incredible car, that's when you see results like those we witnessed today.
Our winning drivers are on their way to the podium right now. It's been a fantastic race for McLaren, that's for sure, and no doubt they'll be celebrating tonight. So then, it's time to see how this result affects the Drivers' Championship. It wasn't the best weekend for our championship leader, and their advantage at the top has been reduced. So, Anthony Davidson, who would you rank as your driver of the day?
Well, you've put me in a bit of a tight spot today, but I think I'll go for Pierre Gasly. He kept a cool head under pressure and made the most of some difficult circumstances.
It's time to check out the Constructors' standings. No change in the top spot, but with today's points, their hold on the lead is getting weaker. There was also a strong showing from the McLaren team today, as they make their way up the standings. I'm equal parts exhausted and elated with this weekend of Formula One. Be sure to join us for the next one.
Well, a bit disappointing in the end there. 14th place, Fernando Alonso finishes 7th, and you know, you just think, what could have been possible today? Had we not had the side pod damage, had we not been on the one stopper, the two stopper was by far the best in the end. Lando Norris is very, very close to being the only challenger to Lewis Hamilton this year. Valtteri Bottas, Perez, Verstappen aren't too far behind, but Lando Norris is absolutely flying, and we are still to get our first points, which is a big shame at this point. But hey, that's the way it goes these days, and you've got to just take it on the chin and move on to the next one. I really did enjoy the 50% races. Brings about the strategy errors, that sort of thing, you know, and having to think about strategy rather than just you playing one stop, do I start on the medium, do I start on the soft. So that's what we will be doing for the next few Grand Prix anyway. If you've enjoyed that, give it a big thumbs up down below. Subscribe for more F1 content, and I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.